Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of our meze project channel. Today we're gonna make bean pilaki. So before we begin, let me explain to you the meaning of pilaki. Rather than a single dish, pilaki refers to a group of dishes which is made by using the same method and similar ingredients. To begin with, you need a main ingredient to make a pilaki, which can be white beans or cranberry beans, or some fish varieties such as mackerel or bonito. And after that, you need to use olive oil instead of any other type of oil. Also, pilaki includes some other ingredients such as onions, garlic and carrots, and depends on the type, you can also add some tomato or tomato paste. Let's take a look at our ingredients. White beans, onions, celeriac, carrots, garlic, celery leaves, salt, pepper and sugar, 1 cinnamon stick, olive oil, and to garnish with some parsley. Now let's get started. First, I'll start to sweat my onions with some olive oil. My pan is already hot. I'm gonna add some olive oil. Just wait a little bit until it gets warm. Now I can add my onions. You must always hear the sizzling when you're dealing with onions. And right after my onions, I want to add 1 cinnamon stick and I'm going to sweat it with my onions. Now I want to cut my garlics for the recipe. I use almost 1 full head of garlic. I'm not going to chop them or slice them into very thin pieces. Instead, I'm just gonna cut off these parts. Now I can also add my garlics to sweat with my onions. It's already smelling very nice here. This can also go inside. What I want here, I want them to get softer, but I don't want them to get so much color. So I'm going to use a lower heat for this purpose. I'll peel them. Let's cut off these. And during that, let's not forget about our onions. Try not to use so much carrots when you are making this recipe because main ingredient is the white beans, so we don't want anything to overpower the white beans. A successful sweating is a very vital part for this dish, so just don't rush it. Move on with the celeriac. I'm going to peel my celeriac with a chef knife. I'm just gonna follow the curve of the celeriac and try not to waste so much of the meaty part of the celeriac. I'm just gonna use half of the celeriac. I'll also cut it into similar size pieces with the carrots. It doesn't have to be very regular pieces like I said before. These can also go inside. Now my onions are almost ready. Now I'm also gonna add my celeriac and sweat with my other ingredients. Try not to sweat the celeriac for too long like the other ingredients because it has a shorter cooking time. Now at the same time I'm also adding the white beans. At the same time I'm going to add some salt. And a little bit of freshly ground black pepper. I don't see enough olive oil in the pot, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. Now it's time to add some boiling water to this. I'm just gonna add enough to cover the beans. I don't need to use so much of water. I'm gonna use some parsley stems and celery leaves as aromatics. So I'm gonna tie them up by using a string. In this way, it'll be very easy to remove it from the pan when it's finished. And now I add these aromatics into the pot. I just push a little bit. Now I cover my pots and cook my pilaki until all the beans and other ingredients are soft and tender. Now my pilaki is almost ready. There is only one thing left to do, which is adding some chopped celery leaves. Before adding my celery leaves, I want to remove the cinnamon stick and the other aromatics in the dish. Celery leaves, I'm going to roughly chop them. This can also go inside now. Pilaki can be made in a few different styles. For example, there are some slight differences between Armenian style of a pilaki and Istanbul style of pilaki. Today, we made Armenian style of pilaki, which includes cinnamon and celery leaves inside. And it's best to serve your pilaki in room temperature, so now I need to wait for a while. Now, it's time to serve my pilaki, but just before I begin to enjoy that, I want to pour myself a glass of rakı because they just go very well together. Last but not least, I'm going to add some chopped parsley onto my pilaki. On my plate. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Now I go back to enjoy my pilaki with my rakı. Cheers!